Welcome to Junkyard Wars, where it's semi-finals time. So far, our teams have had their noses to the ground, guzzling up garbage or burrowing like moles. But those skills will be pretty useless when it comes to walking on water.
Today's challenge is to build a heart-stopping, high-speeding hydrofoil. That's a boat with wings to the rest of us. Once they've constructed their crazy craft, it's down here to our watery racetrack for a time trial. The team that lifts off and achieves the fastest time will be through to the Junkyard Wars finals.
Squelching in horrible orange are the sewer rats, 3 subterranean technicians from the depths of Idaho. Fluid mechanics are their specialty.
My name is Dion. I'm the team captain of the sewer rats, and we're from Boise, Idaho. Sewer rats are made up of Chris, Ralph, and myself. We maintain the city's sewer lines.
There isn't anything that we can't accomplish.
Come to rock your guys' world.
In the first round, the sewer rats swept away the competition with their super sucking vacuum cleaner. Leading the rats by their tails is naval architect Ken Maloney. In the last 24 years, he's worked on a myriad of marine vessels, but he's never built a hydrofoil before. Now's his chance to learn.
Roaring in red are the tenacious turbines, a posse of power plant professionals from Northern California.
My name's Gary. I'm the team captain of the turbines. I overhaul those steam turbines and gas turbines.
I'm Rhonda. I'm a journeyman millwright, and I'm very excited to be part of this team.
Our other team member is Johnny C.
We have the best team members that we could possibly get.
The turbines dug themselves out of a hole and through to the semi-finals with their mechanical mole. Helping them lift off is Jake Free. He specialises in human-powered hydrofoils and won the 1997 championships under his own steam. Let's hope the addition of a motor won't sink his ship.
Let's go. Let's go! Yeah. Welcome back, sewer rats.
Yeah!
Good to see you, turbines.
Yay!
Teams, by the time this challenge is over, you will have had to walk on water and tread on air. It's going to take all of your ingenuity to make sure your machines don't end up in a watery grave. Your challenge today is to build a high adrenaline, high steppin' hydrofoil.
All right. Yeah. Okay, well, in case you're wondering what that is, it's basically a boat with wings. And you've got just 10 hours to build it, starting when the gonger gongs. Are you ready? Go!
A hydrofoil is literally a boat with wings underwater. As it gathers speed, the water rushing over the foils forces the craft upwards, causing it to fly. The boat lifts above the waves and is supported by the foils. This results in a smoother and faster ride.
All right, guys, how are we going to build this hydrofoil?
Well, let's start with this, a rough picture of what it's going to look like. We're going to have a boat, and obviously we need a motor. We have to build a system of wings that goes underneath the boat. She's going to run the water like that. She gets up to speed, planes off, climbs out of the water and flies, and goes like heck.
The sewer rats need to find a strong, rigid hull. They'll carve their foils out of wood and attach them to the front and back of their boat. A light but powerful engine will drive a jet pump, which will provide the thrust to move them forwards and upwards. It needs to generate enough power to get them to take off, but if the craft is too heavy, the rats will be heading straight for the bottom.
As the boat comes up out of the water, the foils will come up, and it'll all equalize and work like a champ.
Basically, for our hydrofoil, we need to have the concept of a large foil that supports most of the weight of the craft and a smaller foil which controls the craft, and some kind of a flotation device. It's got to be light. We need some kind of a power plant, something light.
Can I have a fan or a propeller drive, or
We need to find a propeller.
The turbines are going for a lightweight design using a canoe. They'll need to build a frame so they can attach their wooden foils and a light engine. A drive shaft will connect to a propeller through the bottom of the boat, which will move them forwards. Stability could be a problem, because after all, canoes are actually designed to roll over.
Okay, team, looks like we need some 1x1 steel tubing, a canoe,
We need a boat, we need a motor, we need a pump, a jet.
a motorcycle, bearings, sprockets, and shaft. Okay, let's go.
All right.
Let's go, guys. Let's go get it.
All right.
So it's a race to the yard as both teams may be fighting for the same loot.
Tricky one. Have you ever ridden a hydrofoil?
No, but I have used aluminum foil.
That'll help.
Ravishing in red, the turbines are being lightweights, and this canoe could help them keep their heads above water.
Power plant. Look for that power plant.
And the turbines aren't the only ones with a boat.
Okay, I can't see where I'm going. Be the steering wheel.
Okay. Just don't stop.
Boy, look at what we found here.
Look at what we got.
The sewer rats look flushed with success, but the turbines aren't quite so high or dry.
Found the motor?
No.
I'm still looking for the motor.
Gary, we're having a hard time finding anything.
I'm not sure if we're going to be able to find a power source.
I bet we do.
Whilst the turbines just talk about it, the rats keep coming up with the goods.
Oh, sweet. Hey guys, I think I just found our turbojet.
Bring it in.
Sweet. You gonna be in here in a second?
10-4.
Well, that's nice. Decent. That'll do right nicely.
There you go. We're out of here.
This jet pump could provide all the pushing power for their hydrofoil. Trouble is, it's missing a vital part.
We're still looking for that inlet pipe, right?
Yes, we are.
What is the exact plan, Ken?
Well, first step is a float. Next step is a plane off.
Okay.
Then we fly, and we avoid the big peak.
Which is?
Plow in.
Plow in. Okay, so we have the float part of it, it looks like
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah.
Well, this is obviously our jet,
Yeah, that's
jet
a
pump.
that's a propulsion
or
system.
propulsion system, I should say.
The sewer rats' plan is to drive their hydrofoil forwards using the jet pump. The pump's basically a propeller or impeller enclosed in a box. As the impeller turns, it causes water to be sucked in and pushed out of the back, creating thrust, which will drive the hydrofoil forwards and hopefully upwards.
I got a confession to make, and I don't know if I need to go to the confessional or not. This is the first one I've ever really built.
All right. Let's summarize. We've got a man who's never built a hydrofoil before.
Yeah.
With a team that's never built a hydrofoil
Right.
before.
Well,
With a
before.
bunch of junk.
Yeah.
That's a pretty safe combo, if you ask me. Good luck, guys.
Piece of cake.
Okay.
We got all the materials we need, I think, and we're going to do just fine.
If my head were like a hydrofoil or an airplane, this axis would be the pitch. No, that's not right. Shape. There's a
Things
hollow
aren't too
space
clear
in
on the
middle.
turbine side.
It's a floating donut, basically.
Okay.
A floating bagel.
Gary's losing faith in expert Jake.
I believe our expert is a bit of a wacko.
Why are you struggling already? You're only a few minutes in.
Just the kid.
Just mind
Yeah,
mess.
it's mind-boggling right now. Yeah.
Fusion.
This will be the main body, this whole thing intact, the canoe.
Yes. No,
Okay.
there's going to be structure. The canoe, watch this. This won't support all the. It's just too wavy.
Oh, it's very wavy.
So we got to
isn't
put a
it?
frame around the outside gunnels to make it stronger.
Okay.
The turbine's canoe is ideal for their lightweight design. However, it's inherently brittle and could snap in half. So they'll have to strengthen it with a frame to which they'll attach their foils and engine. They'll also have to drill a hole in their boat so they can connect their propeller. If it's not watertight, they'll be sunk.
Sounds kind of scary, doesn't it?
Extraordinarily scary.
He's the expert, and we're going to make this work.
I don't know about these Junkyard Wars people, you know? I mean, they do welding and they make sparks all over the place, and their fingernails are just, they're dirty. They're dirty fingernails. I would never associate myself. I mean, God.
The sewer rats have struck lucky with this old jet ski. They've got all the pieces they need now to start getting jet propelled.
We've got an induction and another impeller. We can make that work.
You guys are good.
Thank you. Thank
You
you.
guys are good.
Gary, we found the motor, and we're set, man. Cool.
Right on, man. Get it in here.
And the turbines have finally got the power to get their hydrofoil going. Their engine may be very big, but it's the only one they can find. They're revved up and raring to go. All except Jake, that is, who seems to have his reservations.
By the way, you have any idea how much that weighs?
I'm guessing about
200 pounds?
275 to 325.
300 pounds?
275 the gas tank. So,
oh, geez.
Well, think about this, okay? I know about buoyancy.
I know about buoyancy too. We got to get another boat.
This engine is not just a weight on Jake's mind. It could actually sink their chances.
125 pounds?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's more than that.
150. 245. About 240.
He was right. We're looking real dangerous on the weight, you guys.
But with no other engine available, Jake's going to have to make do with what he's got.
It was Alexander Graham Bell, the inventor of the telephone, who really took the science of flying boats to a whole new level during the First World War. He set himself the task of making a high-speed water vessel which could chase down submarines, and he came up with the HD-4, at its time, the fastest sea craft in the world. Since then, hydrofoil technology has been used both commercially and for military applications. Until the 1990s, the U.S. Navy had 6 hydrofoils, including the USS Pegasus, which were used for anti-drug operations in the Caribbean because of their speed and agility. So, who better to judge our challenge than the Pegasus former executive officer, Captain Peter Squeacherini.
Hey, Peter.
Hello, Tyler.
Good to have you on board.
It's a pleasure to be here.
I gotta know, hydrofoils. What is a hydrofoil?
A hydrofoil is a ship that flies. A plane uses the exact same principle, aerodynamic wing with a hydrodynamic foil underneath the water. Simply a ship that flies.
Tell me about your experience with hydrofoils.
Well, I've been in the Navy 26 years, and 4 of those years I've been associated with Navy hydrofoils. 2 of those 4 years I actually operated hydrofoils of the PHM-1 Pegasus class Navy hydrofoils out of Key West, Florida. We sailed in the Atlantic Ocean and the Caribbean. Many missions on hydrofoil. It certainly was a terrific tour. I was stationed as the second in command, the executive officer of the Navy's first operational hydrofoil, the Pegasus. And we sailed such missions as counter-drug missions and also exercises with other fleet units. And at least on one occasion, while chasing one suspected vessel, we flew the hydrofoil right downtown Miami Harbor.
No way. So that must have gotten a few eyebrows raised.
There were a lot of heads being turned, seeing the ship that flies. We were doing over 40 knots foil-borne.
Wow. We got the sewer rats, we got the turbines, 2 different designs.
We take a look at the turbines. I'm a bit concerned about the stability challenge. If anybody's ever been in a canoe before, you know that it can be a bit tippy.
Okay. All right, sewer rats. They're working on something a little bit different.
They've got a much simpler and more conventional design. I see that they have a powerful motorcycle engine, but getting the rotation of the engine to match up properly with the direction of the water jet is going to be critical to the propulsion system. If it turns in the wrong direction, it's just not going to give you that jet push that you need to get foil-borne.
This is on.
But before they can even think about what direction their engine's turning, the sewer rats still have to get it started.
On, off, run. It's got gas.
Gas is on.
Hey, Rhonda, I found one off a big truck.
The turbines have found their engine, but they're going around in circles looking for other parts.
Okay.
We got to find a propeller.
There wasn't a propeller on it.
If we don't find one, we're going to have to make one.
Oh, it's just plastic.
Plastic. Oh, man. Oh, that's a fan. Forget it.
Yeah.
At last, a turn in the turbine's favor.
Shaft is over.
Ah, there's the
our
propeller.
Yeah.
There's the size. Okay.
Yeah! It's good news for the sewer rats. Their engine's running. Now the big question.
Okay, which way does this need to spin?
It needs to spin like that.
That way.
It's going to go this way. Water's going to go that way.
That should be the way that spins.
Propellers and impellers work a bit like a wood screw, in that they'll only go forwards when turned in a certain direction. The sewer rat's impeller turns in the opposite direction to their engine. Unless they can come up with a way of changing the direction of either one, their boat will be dead in the water.
And that's the opposite of what we want here.
We're not going to be able to find another motor
Dion checks to see if the opposition are hoarding the parts they need.
How are we going to connect that to the engine then? And is it the right? It's not the right way.
The turbines are having rotational problems of their own.
We'll be going the wrong way.
Yeah, we're going the wrong way.
So presumably the options are find a propulsion system that goes the other way, or find an engine that goes the other way.
Preferably an engine. We know they have one next door.
So what kind of a solution have we got in mind? Any ideas?
I'm hoping to find maybe a different motor.
Have you had a chance to see what if they have anything over there, like what kind of system they've got going over?
No, actually, we've been so busy that we haven't actually leered over yet.
I don't know. Maybe poke your head over the other side and see if there's something you can get from them.
Sewer rats. Would you care to converse with us for just a second?
The turbines cross enemy lines to check out what the sewer rats have to offer.
You want to fire it up for?
Let's see what you guys have got going on.
The rule is always check the goods before you buy.
It runs killer.
It runs.
The sewer rats aren't fooled by Carrie's car salesman routine.
It runs great.
Yeah.
It's a good running
It's
machine.
killer.
It's a 100-mile-an-hour rototiller is what you see there.
There'll be no trade until the turbines can give the sewer rats a working engine.
Attention teams, the Surgeon General warns that wasting time is hazardous to your build. This is your 6-hour time check, teams.
We better get going.
Those crafty sewer rats are getting on with their foils while they're waiting. It's going to take expert Ken lots of time and plenty of skill to plane these planks to exactly the right shape.
But the turbines are still struggling with their engine.
It's the first time we've ever seen a team slogging their guts out to get an engine fixed for the opposition. I reckon this is all a clever ploy by the sewer rats. I mean, look what's happened since. They've completely distracted the turbines. Meanwhile, who's getting on with building hydrofoil?
That's Dirty Fool, and I think I like it.
It's essential that the turbines get their engine started. Failure means that both teams will be going nowhere.
Probably.
The sewer rats are beginning to doubt whether it will ever spring to life.
That will work.
Like a phoenix from the ashes, Gary's resurrected this metal bird. Now it's up to the sewer rats to make her fly.
Sounds good. Well, I guess we'll do this trade, huh?
Stream. You guys aren't dirty rats after all.
The teams may be happy, but the judge is concerned about the sewer rats' new engine.
That engine being less powerful is going to make the weight even more critical because you're not going to have as much power to get that boat foil borne.
How did the turbines do? Did they come out ahead?
They got a much heavier engine, a bigger engine, more powerful than they need for their design.
Right.
Now this is going to just contribute to our original concerns with the weight and stability problems with their canoe design.
260, 360.
You got to take 100 pounds off it.
There's not 100 pounds on this thing you can take off, dude.
Take off everything you can and we'll go from there. Off.
Okay, Gary, I'll start stripping.
Okay.
While the boys set to work on the engine, Jake begins the arduous task of transforming these old bits of wood into hydrodynamic foils. He'll be making giant water wings. When a wing moves through the air travelling over the curved surface moves faster than the air over the flat one, which causes it to be sucked upwards. Exactly the same thing happens in water. The turbines will have 2 of these underwater foils on their canoe, a large V-foil towards the back to bear the load, and a much smaller and lighter front foil to help them get liftoff.
The sewer rats are finishing carving their timber. Now it's time to piece their front foil together.
That one right there straight.
Nice job on these, Ken. Really good work.
Thank you.
Yeah, those are nice.
Yeah. So these are going to be at the front.
Front of the boat.
The sewer rats plan to attach 4 of these foils in a diamond shape. At the back of their boat, they'll also put 2 larger wooden foils in a V, which will bear most of the weight. This heady combination should give their craft plenty of lift.
Once this is done, attached to the boat, or are we still got a ways to go on the actual boat?
I've got the front end pretty much built. I got to put a couple attachments for the pitch of it.
Right.
But other than that, this part's done.
I think we're gonna get done on time. I think we're gonna have a decent machine. I think it's gonna rise up out of the water and be like the second coming and just walk right across the water. We're gonna be flying.
Teams, you have a hull of a lot of work in front of you. This is your 4-hour time check, teams.
With their front foil finished, the sewer rats can make a start on their jet system.
We're gonna build a little box.
They've also got time for a bit of house cleaning, too.
But on this show, one team's trash is another team's treasure. The turbines want the shaft from the jet ski. They just need to work out how to get it out. But not everyone is taking it so seriously.
Never mind.
They're both way behind.
I know, it's crazy.
I mean, actually looking at their bits, it's sort of quite similar to about 3 hours ago, really, isn't it? They just were swapped over.
The thing about the turbines, though, they may have the engine now that's going to turn the right direction. The only problem with their direction is they don't really seem to have any as far as the team goes. They seem to be very, the plan is askew. Their expert, or their expert is working over here all by himself.
Yeah.
Everyone else is over there doing their own thing.
I know what you mean.
I'd like to
There's
think so.
slight
It just feels like there's a little, like issues.
Well, we got a problem. Our expert isn't really an expert. And the way he wants to do things, we don't have the material for. So it's going to be a struggle today.
Not sure this guy really knows what he's talking about. I'm speaking of our team expert. It's going to be a rough one to get through.
What's going on here?
It's confusing to say the least.
Really? Is that what the problem is? You're just not seeing the plan?
Yeah.
So you've sort of lost a bit of faith and you haven't got a direction?
Exactly, yeah. There's less and less options now. So,
really?
Yeah. I believe that pretty soon there'll only be one thing left to do. That's get it all assembled by the end of the day.
Oh good, I thought you were going to say resign or something. I talked to Gary and it made me so depressed. I've come to talk to you to get words of cheer. How are you feeling about how it's all going?
I'm not too happy about it.
Really?
No.
How can I help?
How can you help? Would you take over for our expert?
Do you know about sort of floaty, boaty, flyy type things?
I understand principles of structure and stuff like that, and I'm not allowed to institute those principles of structure with my mechanical engineering degree, so I'm pretty discouraged about it.
Is it not a thing where you can all get together, have a bit of a ding-dong and sort it all out?
Yeah, we've been trying.
So what was the good news again?
Well, the good news is that the canoe still floats at this point. Right. The canoe still floats at this point.
There's differences of opinion here, aren't there?
Yeah, there were some differences of opinion, and I think that cost us in the first 3 hours.
And how about the team, though? Do you feel, I mean, there's a sense of
divergence?
Really, well, not only that, but just sheer suicidal depression.
Yeah, we've been that way for a while, but we're going to keep building. That's what all I can say is we're going to keep at it.
Oh
dear. Oh dear.
There's some totally bad times coming up, eh?
I've never seen a team more depressed and despondent than the turbines are at the moment.
I thought I had, but nope. These guys are them. My gosh, it's crazy. What's going on over there?
Well, I think there's quite a lot of expert-related issues because he's obviously thinking, done hydrofoils before, and they have to be done in this particular way. And wrestling with the whole junk element of things. Whereas the team are like, well, we're engineers, we know how things work, we can kind of figure it out for ourselves.
Yeah.
And those two viewpoints are not finding a beautiful, happy middle ground.
Sparks of a different kind are flying in the sewer rats camp. They're putting the finishing touches to their jet and preparing their engine for liftoff.
How much of a job is this all going to be? Because that's, I mean, mounting an engine is normally a bit of a kerfuffle, isn't it?
Mounting this isn't going to be the hard part. It's going to be the fine tuning of angling this engine so that we have a direct drive off of this shaft onto that shaft.
It's a tricky job, so it's left to expert Ken to make sure that there's no rattle in this shaft's roll.
You got to make the prop deep enough so that when the foil goes up, that it's below the water line.
It said 1 foot below the bottom of the boat.
It's not going to work,
It's
dude.
mutiny in the
Tell you right
turbines camp. There's confusion about who's captain on their ship.
It's not going to work, dude. So if you want to work it out, that's fine.
No, I just want you to tell me how deep it needs to be and stick with what you say.
As a military man, our judge thinks it's time for a little more order in these turbine ranks.
We got about 3 hours and a half left. Good news, plenty of time. We need some organization. You're the captain, Gary?
Yes, sir.
And I understand how that works. Really, if we can start breaking this down into 20-minute to 30-minute bites, I really feel you can get there with some time to spare to tune it up at the end. You can still pull this out. That's a hint. Don't give up on us here.
Okay.
Put them on the run. Take no prisoners.
Take no prisoners. Here, this is what
Mission accomplished, Captain Peter Squiccerini.
Yeah.
Peter, I saw you in there with the turbines issuing some pretty stern orders. What's that all about?
Well, you caught me. I did go in and see what they were doing. Yeah. The turbines are really at crunch time now. Turbines have to get that engine in the canoe and hooked up to that propeller shaft and propeller. And I see they're working hard. They doubled their efforts on the foils. I like the shape of the foils, but the bottom line here is they've got to start putting the equipment in the boat if they're going to have a hydrofoil at the end of the day.
Don't seem to be all on the same page over on the turbine side.
Well, during the build, there has been some debate and discussion I've seen amongst the team, a little work on organization, and I did have to get in there and give them a bit of a pep talk.
As a man who's in the military, you know how important it is to have a leader and somebody that kind of takes charge and delegates authority. Is that a problem over on the turbine side?
Well, I'll tell you this. It's time for the turbine's captain to be the captain.
I believe it's my duty as a captain to go on and get these people back into line and get this project done. So watch me now, boys.
The turbine's strong but silent leader springs into action. With their spirits lifted, the team are making great progress on their tricky front foil system. Now this sitting duck is about to get the power of flight.
The engine's going in. That's a very good sign.
I've seen the turbines measuring things and trying to decide where to put it. Why is it so important?
They have a large foil about the middle of the canoe. So as we can see, they're putting their engine about in the middle of the canoe to place its weight over the foil, which will do the lifting. And so the placement of that engine is going to be critical to whether turbine's hydrofoil ever flies.
Is engine placement as important for the sewer rats as it is for the turbines?
The placement of the weight of that engine and the operator of the boat is going to be as critical as it was for the turbines.
We're getting close to the finish line here on this build, so I gotta know, where's the money?
Well, I'm looking at a canoe with a front foil and an engine and the turbines. My money's still on the sewer rats, Tyler.
But all bets could be off in the sewer rat's lair. Lining up their drive line appears to be more than one rat can handle.
Okay, so let's slide forward until
we're
we're not
half
too
a
high.
shaft off.
We are so close.
No, now you're too high. And the motor's got to come over to my left.
Yeah, I know that.
The sewer rat's engine is too high to connect their jet pump with a straight shaft. They can't move the jet pump any higher because it wouldn't be able to suck in water. And they can't move the engine any lower because it's already sitting on the bottom of the boat.
It's desperate times. At the moment, the rats are going nowhere.
Well, the sprocket will be loose. So gonna have us a bulkhead here pretty soon.
After carefully working out where to put their drive shaft, the turbines are ready to cut that hole in their boat.
Give me some hair around it.
Once this drive shaft has joined the engine to their propeller, the turbines will be turning in no time at all.
Well, the lollygagging is coming to a minimum. It's almost to a stop. There's a lot more mutual respect now. And we're finally getting some work done and some work started. And me love the scrapyard.
All right, teams, the countdown is on. Here we go. 1 hour remaining, teams. 1 hour.
1 hour, dude. 1 hour, that's it.
Out in the yard, Ralph has found a CV joint. Its flexibility means that at long last they can connect their engine to their jet. But Ralph's not pleased with the new plan.
It sure does suck to change right at the last minute when you have one train of thought going one way for so long, and then you're on another train. So, choo-choo!
Happy with the way everything's going?
We're happy with the design. We can't be happy with the way it's going.
What?
We should be sipping margaritas now by now.
So.
Not happy with how fast time has went by.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
What's up, kids?
Over the wall, the turbines are just putting the finishing touches to their back foil. And with the front foil welded in place and the end of the day in sight, hysteria has set in.
I love those shavings, man.
There's only one thing that has transformed more than your hydrofoil, and that is this part of your face.
The smile, huh?
It's looking amazing.
I think we've got a splendid contraption.
Yeah?
How do you like
I've never
it?
seen anything like it. And I'm just happy to see the turbines back, you know, chipper again.
Back in the swing of things.
What is amazing today, which does often happen, is the team that we're really worried about, i.e. the turbines, a few hours ago, suddenly catch up and take over. And now, in the last couple of hours, it's been the sewer rats who've been really struggling to get it all together.
There seemed to be a bit of a lull in the action over there.
Definitely.
You know. Now the real work begins as both teams are fighting against the tide to get their hydrofoils finished.
The sewer rats thought they had everything under control, but if they don't hustle now, it could all go up in smoke.
Peter, final squeeze is on, so I'm going to put the squeeze on you. Who is going to win and why?
Sewer Rat's boat may be a bit slower, but I think it's going to be more steady on the course. So at the end of the race, it's going to be a close one. But I think the faster boat's going to be Turbines.
Am I hearing correctly? Turbines is going to be the faster boat?
I think that the Turbine boat, again, if they can keep her stable, could win by a nose.
We going away from the sewer rats to the turbines? I just want to make sure I'm clear.
We are going to go with the Turbines.
Captain Flip Flop. No, teams, your watch is not wrong. That is a 15-minute time check. 15 minutes to finish those machines.
There you go. There you go.
What's our angle of attack?
That's about right.
That's about right. Okay. This looks great.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tools down.
Yeah!
So now you need some rest because tomorrow we take these mighty machines, we put them on the water, and we see if they will fly.
Thank you.
The turbines. Turbines! It's time for our teams to sink or swim as they race their hyped up hydrofoils on our hot hydro track.
As usual, the teams have 1 hour tinkering time.
Gary, you the man. Look at that, brother. Spot, maybe.
The turbines are trying to get their boat to float, but the sewer rats are trying to get theirs to fly.
Today's test is a 200-yard drag race on water. It's a flying start, timed from the start line at whatever speed the teams deem necessary. There'll be 3 runs apiece, and the fastest single time will be the winner.
We are good to go, G to G.
You plug the holes in the bottom of the boat.
Fill the hole.
All the holes?
American flag.
It's on.
It's time for a moment of prayer.
Well, the good news, Turbines, is that you've been nominated for an award for most use of duct tape on Junkyard Wars.
It's the key to our machine. It's going to keep us afloat.
Hey, ducks float, so
That's it.
Now, when Jake takes to the water out there, which bits of the machine are you going to be looking at, thinking, please don't break?
We'll be looking at the hydrofoil.
Yeah, we'll be looking at basically the front end and the hydrofoil, basically.
Right.
We'll keep a close eye on those.
And what about keeping a close eye on the opposition over there? How are they looking, do you think?
As long as we can keep them in the rearview mirror, then that's fine.
Now, if there's one bit of the machine that the rest of the team are going to be worrying about, what would it be?
I think collectively the front foil. And the drive shaft.
What is that? You're worried about those bits actually breaking, or about just them not working?
Well, the drive
properly?
shaft has it's unbalanced and it's got some deflection problems.
One other thing that I can't help but notice is there's been a slight adjustment to the top of your head. You've been baptized into the boy band.
Yeah, I kind of...
You know, he made a crude comment the first night we met him about us looking like a boy band. Lo and behold, he showed up this morning.
Very good.
It's time for our judge to cast a critical eye over the machine.
These two contraptions are the most outlandish, maybe even bizarre, hydrofoil machines I've ever seen. But I've got some concerns for the sewer rats. They've got that heavy engine and the hydrofoil driver, both in the stern of the boat. There's a lot of weight back here riding on this aft foil.
Okay, well, let's see what the turbines look like, huh?
Let's go take a look.
All right.
Look at it, it's a canoe with a motorcycle in it, perched atop two foils. Now, this is an unconventional design. I am very concerned with its strength and durability.
Okay, time to talk pesos here. Where does the money go?
Well, Tyler, these sure look like a long way from the Navy hydrofoils that I flew. But I'll tell you, my money is with the sewer rats.
Let's see if you're right.
Let's go race them.
Let's do it.
Our teams will race up the course one at a time. They'll launch from the dock, gathering speed for a flying start. Their timed run will only begin when they cross the start line. They'll get 3 runs, and the team with the fastest time will go through to the Junkyard Wars finals.
Turbines, start your engines!
You gotta keep it running.
So it's expert Jake in the hot seat. He's a whiz with human-powered hydrofoils, but let's see how he handles a motor.
Come on, dude, don't...
He's trying for too high a gear. There's too much stress. He's got to go down to first.
Well, let's look at the positives. The engine's running and it's still floating. I guess that's something to look for and be happy
upright,
about.
Too.
Yeah.
Practice time is over. Jake's at the start line and it's time to go.
And he's off. And he stopped.
Problems for the turbines, it looks like.
Come on, dude, keep it alive.
Jake's fighting to get a grip on that engine.
It looks like he's coming up a little bit.
Come on, get up there.
Can he turn?
He's standing up. Does that help at all, or is there a reason why he'd be standing up like that, or?
Well, I wouldn't recommend it. That boat's unstable enough.
We made one pass.
What was our time?
Peter, we got a time of 52 seconds on that first run.
Well, that's pretty impressive, I've got to tell you. Very surprised seeing that very unorthodox, unconventional design. And I'm hoping the next run she'll have enough speed and power, and we'll see her on her foils as a true hydrofoil.
So the turbines put the first score on the board with a respectable 52 seconds, but they're not completely happy.
So what's the strategy to it here? You're trying to figure out which
Figure
gear
out
you
what
need
gear
to be
we're in and figure out a gear ratio, see if we can get it to go. It's a lot of weight to it, so it might be sluggish.
Give me that. Pulling back.
You're okay.
Hey, don't worry about the builds.
Don't worry about the builds. Start it first.
Now for the sewer rat's maiden voyage.
All right, you sewer rats, start your engine!
Push the lever down.
Expert Ken is driving, and he's got a time of 52 seconds to beat.
Go! The sewer rats are on the water with engine blazing.
It's all looking good as he makes his way to the start line.
Sounds like they got a great engine.
Come on, buddy. No!
We just broke something.
Lost it, guys.
Oh no.
He's holding his head.
There was a nasty sounding clunk.
That's it.
Tell me that wasn't the sound of a drive shaft breaking.
You know that sound, eh?
I've heard that sound before.
It's a huge disappointment for the sewer rats.
They were right to be worried about their drive shaft. It's cost them their first run, and they didn't even get to the start line.
When dealing with hydrofoils, you need to have a lot of faith and a lot of patience. So it's still early in the race, still early in the day.
And your money's on the sewer rats.
My money's still on the sewer rats.
The rats are also taking on a lot of water, but Captain Dion is determined to fix their broken drive shaft.
You got it happening now.
Ralph's job is to keep them afloat.
We have the village top too, it don't matter to me.
We're ready for run number 2 here, Peter, and there go the turbines are on their way.
Here comes the turbine boat. He's coming onto the course here.
Come on, Jake, go!
Cool.
Go!
Come on. Jake really wants to improve on his previous time.
And he's over the start line.
Come on.
Come on.
His hull is a little bit higher in the water, but he's not up on the foils yet.
I think Jake just thinks if he's up out of the water, it's, okay.
Oh, man. What's he doing? Come on, Jake!
Woo! And it's all over. But will it be a better time than their first run?
Tyler to Kathy, I've got some times for you.
Go ahead, Tyler.
The time for the second run is 48 seconds. 4-8.
Pretty good. Knocking 4 seconds off their previous time, the turbines have a quicker run and 2 scores on the board.
It's up above.
Things aren't looking good in the sewer rats camp. There's water everywhere.
Coming in up there. It's up above.
It's a sacrifice.
What's going on with the sewer rats? When are they going to do their run?
The drive shaft issue, which felt terminal, judging by the clunk, actually they've managed to fix, but there's a lot of water still coming on board.
Leaks in a boat, especially a hydrofoil, is not a good thing.
Of course.
So if they can get the water to stay outside the hull, maybe they'll get out on the course and just maybe we'll see a hydrofoil.
The sewer rats are landlubbers again as they try to plug those leaks.
So, while they're still out of action, the turbines prepare for their third run.
The turbines only have one more shot at getting it right. Is it a case of just opening up the gates and letting her go?
Well, I really do not know if Jake is using all the power in that motorcycle engine he's got there, but he's going to have to do a bit better than that so that his contraption becomes a true hydrofoil.
And the judge isn't the only one questioning Jake's driving.
You got a good deal on building these things right here, but you got no concept of what makes a drive shaft run, dude. Through the entire course of building this boat, you've been no help mechanically because you make no sense mechanically.
The propellers too, right?
Yeah, and now you don't know how to drive a motorcycle either. I guess I'm gonna have to take it for its final run. I don't know. I don't see any other way. If we're gonna lose, we're gonna lose with a bang.
Turbines, this is your last chance to get foil borne.
Gary's put his money where his mouth is, and he's off to the start line.
Come on, Captain.
Let's do it, dude.
Woo!
What's the plan here, Peter, for the turbines? Is it basically like just put the pedal to the metal and hopefully that thing comes flying out of the water?
I think that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to get all the power they can get and hope for the best.
Okay, here we go.
Engine sounds strong.
Looks good, looks good.
You can do it.
Gary's desperate to beat Jake's time.
It looks like we can actually see the rear foil coming out of the water just a bit.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Come on, come on. Get you the
Rear
end.
lift, rear lift.
You can get you the end.
And he's finished.
Yeah! But with all his motorbiking experience, I think Gary is learning that actually this hydrofoil is a bit more like a supercharged canoe.
Gary's had the ride of his life.
Tyler,
Go ahead, Kath.
Do we have a time for the turbine's third and final run?
Yes, we do, Kathy. A good time, 51 seconds.
Oh,
5-1.
very close.
Very close.
So close.
The motor's running the same on every run.
Yeah.
In spite of all his motorbike experience, Gary couldn't beat Jake's previous 48-second run.
The putty?
Yeah.
The Sewer Rats boat is still leaking, but if they don't make a run now, they've lost by default.
This is the deal, you guys. I don't want to lose by not even getting a run.
I don't either.
Yeah, let's get to the other end of the thing. If our time doesn't match, then we lost.
Exactly.
The turbines may have 3 scores on the board, but it could all change with just one faster run from the Sewer Rats. They've decided to go for a change of driver. Dion is lighter than expert Ken, so that should increase their chances of staying afloat.
Attention, Sewer Rats. Start your engines.
Go, dude. Go.
It's all down to Dion.
Pedal to the metal. Let's go.
Now or never.
Exactly. Let's go.
Start turning! Looks like water rats are just dead in the water right now.
It's a very sad way to go. Well, I gotta say, the Sewer Rats gave it every last possible bit of effort.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's how can it be your fault with the shaft leaking?
Well, I've had better days of hydrofoiling. I can tell you that.
The final rat leaving the sinking ship.
Come on, Sir!
Good job, man. Good job, man. Give me some.
Well, Sewer Rats, great to have you on the show. And there are no losers. Congratulations. Second place, well done. We do have, with a record time, 48 seconds. It's enough to get you guys through to the Junkyard Wars Finals. Captain. If you enjoyed that, join us for the next edition of Junkyard Wars. Yay!
It's an explosive second semi-final as the geeks face off against the pit crew in a challenge of fire and water.
Don't miss Junkyard Wars tomorrow. Stay with us tonight on ABC2 as Adam, Miff and Alan begin our comedy lineup with Nick Seymour, Eddie Perfect and John Swan playing music trivia on Spicks and Specs tonight at 8. But next, it's Mr. Bean.